Hello, everybody. Good morning to you. I am First Alert Meteorologist Cutter Martin here with a check of the First Alert forecast in today's A&F Plus stream of weather where you are. Again, time now is 11:30, almost done with the morning, heading into the afternoon on this kind of drizzleable, we'll call it, drizzly, chilly Friday. It is certainly one for the jacket. It is one for, by this evening time, the umbrella, and that is why we have issued the entire First Alert weather team kind of designated today a First Alert weather day with that risk of evening rain impacting some of those Friday after Christmas plans. Of course, tonight is also the third night of Hanukkah, a normal Friday night for other folks as well. A lot going on across Metro Atlanta, and the weather is such that you could have to shift around some of your plans. So we did want to give you that extra heads up, that First Alert, and that is why today is a First Alert weather day, not necessarily because of the weather we have right now, which is already pretty gross, but the fact that the chance of rain and inclement weather, rain and chilly temperatures will actually increase as we get into the evening hours. Outside right now, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, it is a cold, drizzly one, as mentioned. Today, a First Alert weather day, though, because of the fact that the chance of rain actually increases as we get into the evening. Now, we have had some drizzle already today. You can see a little bit of fog even on that sky cam at Hartsfield-Jackson, but the risk of rain and kind of puddle-making rain and the type of rain that'll have you reaching for an umbrella, that increases as we get into the evening hours. You can see temperatures stuck in the low to mid-40s many places, though LaGrange at 50, and LJ actually a little bit clearer some of our mountain communities so far today, and that is why temperatures, at least so far, have been a little warmer up there, already back into the upper 40s, but you don't have to look too far to the west to see where rain is developing, where it's moving in from, and again, we're going to pan back the map to Alabama here. And this is basically what is left over of those storms you probably saw damage from on TV this morning. If you're watching Atlanta News First, there were multiple tornadoes in southeast Texas yesterday and in and around Metro Houston, severe weather in western Louisiana last night, even some strong to severe thunderstorms in the wee hours of this morning moving through the Mid-South. No longer severe. The risk of severe weather with these are very, very low at this point and well to our west. Locally, there is no risk of severe weather today. Obviously, it's chilly, it's cold, just not conducive for any strong to severe thunderstorms or anything like that. Nonetheless, what's going to happen as I pause this is the remnants of those storms will continue to push off to the south and to the east, and at times, moving more southwest northeast and moving in the direction of North Georgia and Metro Atlanta. Wesley Millsap saying he's checking in from Ackworth via his new iPad. Wesley, was that a Christmas gift? Give us a holler. A shout out if you're wondering who I'm speaking with. It's Wesley Millsap up in Ackworth, northwest side of town, and we're chatting on YouTube. Atlanta News First is the account that we are streaming on, and if you have any weather questions, comments, concerns, you too can ask away on YouTube. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay between when you ask the questions, when I'm able to see them and answer them, but we always go back even after the end of the stream and make sure to respond to any questions that may have come in. You can also, though, text us, 470-777-WANF. In fact, we'll pop that up on the screen here, 470-777-WANF. That is 470-777-9263. It's a simple text to ask your weather question, or if you have a concern about the forecast, you need a little clarification, that works too. Also letting you know that you can send us photos and videos. It doesn't have to just be a question, but if you're seeing something crazy weather-wise, or if you have breaking news to report, you can simply text us photo, video, or a description of what's happening to that same phone number, and we will seek out the details, and you may see your photos and your videos online, streaming on A&F Plus or on Atlanta News First or Peachtree TV. Wesley saying, yes, it was a Christmas gift. Well, Merry Christmas to you, Wesley. Sounds like a great gift, and one where you can kind of keep in touch with the forecast. We can have chats like this one on your new iPad. Again, thank you for tuning in, for always watching, being a faithful viewer there, Wesley. And I encourage anyone that may be watching on Roku, Amazon Fire. I know it's a busy weekend for so many. If you do have any weather questions, comments, concerns, this is a really cool opportunity on Atlanta News First Plus to have kind of a two-way conversation where it's not just the meteorologist giving you the forecast, but also you're asking questions, you're getting clarification, you're letting me know what you're seeing outside in your neck of the woods, even if you're away from North Georgia, even if you're outside of the city of Atlanta. We can give you the forecast regionally, beyond as well. So let's take you to an hour-by-hour forecast. This is what a computer thinks. One of our forecast model thinks that, how it thinks the forecast basically will evolve. through the afternoon and the early evening hours. And so far, this forecast model not doing a bad job. Again, just one run of one computer. It's a tool in the tool belt, so to speak. This is not written in stone or chiseled into stone, should say. This is just an idea of what could happen, and then we use our training as meteorologists to say, hey, computer, that doesn't make sense, or maybe this computer model is doing a better job, or maybe we think that it's completely wrong, and they're all kind of out to lunch. But what I will say is so far, forecast models, while they're still kind of struggling with some of the details with the forecast over the next 36, 48 hours, getting us through Sunday morning, I think they have the right idea. And so far, they've been good today. We have the clouds, we have the chilly temperatures, and we have some drizzle. Even where you don't see the green, though, there still has been some drizzle this morning and this afternoon. That's where maybe the forecast model is missing the mark just a little bit. But even the drier of the forecast models, like what you're seeing right now, shows that rain will be increasing as we get into the evening, 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock this evening. If you are working today, heading home from work, a time in which so many go out to dinner or have evening plans, there is going to be a little bit more in the way of drizzle and probably some fog as well, and there could even be some steadier rain this evening. That's the reason for the first alert weather day, the likelihood that weather may impact some of your outdoor evening plans, going out to dinner, and anything you have going on. You need to know if rain's going to slow you down, or if you do need to bring that umbrella, or if maybe you need to make sure you have those rain alerts or precipitation alerts turned on in the First Alert Weather app. That's the whole purpose of the First Alert Weather Day, just to kind of signal that today's a day to keep an eye on. You're busy, there's a lot of weather to talk about, but we want to highlight today, let you know that weather could throw a wrench in some of those evening plans. Overall, though, again, rain won't be all that heavy. No severe weather this evening, just a little bit wetter after sunset, so keep that in mind. Temperatures may actually warm up a few degrees tonight into Saturday morning. Here we are, 7 a.m. Temperatures out of the 40s, actually warming, believe it or not, up overnight. Back into the low to mid-50s out the door in the morning. And then as we go through the day, we may get a little bit of a lull. Case in point, here we are at noon. This particular forecast model wants to keep things a little bit drier, though still drizzly, still at least some spotty rain. But what I will say is there's also a chance of a little bit more in the way of wet weather than what this forecast model is showing as we get into midday. So just keep that in the back of your head. There's a little bit of uncertainty still with that midday portion of your Saturday forecast. Nonetheless, even in the best case, cloudy, drizzly, kind of damp First Alert Weather Day. That weather, even if it's just drizzly, could impact those outdoor plans. But there is the potential for some heftier showers, maybe more noticeable rain as well as we get into Saturday afternoon. And then the final round, the final act of this storm system is to send a line of rain and thunderstorms into North Georgia and Metro Atlanta sometime between late Saturday evening and the wee hours of Sunday morning. I would say the further west you are, the earlier you may get in on some of this storm action, including heavy rain, frequent lightning, and thunder, and that could be as early as maybe 9, 10 o'clock on Saturday evening. Now, City of Atlanta points east, likely to be noisiest or rainiest a little bit later, perhaps after the flip over to Sunday after midnight. Again, First Alert Weather Day all the while. Here we are, 3 a.m. Sunday. Most are fast asleep, but storms probably will wake you up or your dogs or pups up Saturday night into Sunday morning. And notice temperatures here, too, warming up a little bit again Saturday night into Sunday. So it's just not a normal setup where we cool down at night. We have a southerly flow that's going to pump moisture in, pump some slightly warmer air in, and that's going to allow not just showers to develop, but rain and thunderstorms, some of which could be pretty noisy late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. So here we are, 3 o'clock Sunday, widespread showers and storms. As we get into the daylight hours Sunday, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, this is as far as this particular forecast model run goes, but notice the heftiest of the rain is east of Atlanta, Athens, down to, Putnam County, Eatonton. If you're headed to Lake St. Clair and Oconee on Saturday night or Sunday or both days for the entire weekend maybe, it looks stormiest perhaps even after sunrise Sunday. So we'll take a little bit of time to move from west to east in a completely clear North Georgia, and we still have a few showers and thunderstorms even on this forecast model, even 8 o'clock Sunday morning behind that main round before sunrise that moved through the city of Atlanta. Temperatures upper 50s, lower 60s. That is warm enough in combination with some other ingredients or factors at play to bring in the risk of severe weather. Not, a massive risk, not top of the scale or anything like that, but late Saturday night through Sunday morning, we do have a marginal 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather, especially Cleburne, Randolph counties in Alabama. That's west of the state line. But as we get past 7 a.m. Sunday, that risk will shift eastward. So This forecast runs from 7 a.m. Saturday to 7 a.m. Sunday. So within that 24-hour period, that is what that risk level kind of is attached to. So through 7 a.m. Sunday, there's a marginal 1 out of 5 risk of severe weather roughly along into the west of I-75, again, kind of a rough line. Then after, say, 7 a.m., as far as North Georgia is concerned, I'd say 7 a.m. to noon, there is yet again a level 1 out of 5 risk for the eastern half of North Georgia and a level 2 out of 5, that yellow or slight risk, for areas closer to Augusta, back into coastal Georgia, middle Georgia, and portions of South Carolina. The greatest threats with any storms that manage to reach that severe classification will be damaging wind gusts of 65 miles per hour. Because keep in mind, even if the storm isn't severe, it'll produce heavy rain in this case, and it probably will be producing frequent lightning and thunder. So still some very heavy, noisy storms moving through, even if they're not severe, even if they don't have a severe thunderstorm warning attached to them, moving through late Saturday evening through the wee hours of Sunday morning. And with rain falling today, especially this evening, a little bit more rain tomorrow, and then heavy rain on top of that, and it being wintertime, things are dormant. The trees have shedded their leaves. Most people's grass brown at this point and not really soaking up much water. So anything that falls will run off pretty quickly, and there could be some street and road flooding. But then again, this is mainly early Sunday morning when most folks aren't on the roadways. But still something to keep in mind. Maybe if you leave in for an early trip Saturday night, Sunday morning, there are so many possibilities as to why people would be on the road Sunday. So if you are, keep in mind, not just a severe weather risk, but also could be some road flooding Sunday morning. And a couple of storms could be severe. As mentioned, wind gusts of 65 miles per hour, an isolated tornado is a possibility. And we will be updating this forecast, continuing to keep you updated right here on A&F Plus. Next stream that includes the forecast will be with First Alert Meteorologist Patrick Pete tonight at 8 p.m. Don't forget, we have our new newscast in just about 15 minutes or so, really, on Atlanta News First, and that will be right at noon. Likely First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez right off the top with the latest forecast. You can continue to get updates in the First Alert Weather app as well. Put the most recent forecast video in the First Alert Weather app just a few moments ago, basically going through what we're talking about right now, but you have it always. You can rewatch that video in the palm of your hand. So go about your weekend. We have a stretch of First Alert weather days today. Drizzly, chilly this evening, though. Rain could be a little bit more of a factor for those after sunset plans. Saturday looks like a damp day. Chilly, too. So First Alert weather day, heads up for those with the outdoor plans. And then a little bit more of a kind of a serious, we'll call it, First Alert weather day. That risk of severe weather and some heavy, heavy rain, too. That would be late Saturday evening into Sunday morning. Now, I do think that the forecast will pretty significantly improve or vastly improve as we get into Sunday afternoon. And a nice Monday, New Year's Eve, so to speak. And with that extended forecast, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez will be on at noon with that extended outlook, bringing you the latest First Alert forecast, any updates that she may have. Don't anticipate too many changes between now and noon, of course, but some of that new data, our afternoon forecast model cycle coming in now. So there could be some updates to that afternoon forecast. Again, nothing huge, but we'll keep an eye on it. Want to end with a live look at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Have a safe weekend. Stay warm, stay dry. There's also some cold weather in that First Alert 7-day forecast. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez will be on your TV and streaming device here at noon with another check.